In the heart of Nigeria, nestled between rolling hills and winding rivers, lay the ancient kingdom of Umuofia. This land was known far and wide for its rich traditions, vibrant markets, and most of all, for a man named Chidi. Chidi was no ordinary man. From the day he could speak, he had never uttered a lie. Not a single untruth had ever passed his lips, not even the smallest white lie to spare someone's feelings or to get himself out of trouble. This unwavering commitment to honesty had made Chidi both revered and feared throughout Umuofia. As a young boy, Chidi's truthfulness often landed him in hot water. When his best friend, Obinna, accidentally broke the village elder's prized clay pot, Chidi refused to cover for him. "Obinna did it," he said simply when asked, ignoring his friend's pleading eyes. This incident cost him his first friendship, but it set the tone for the rest of Chidi's life. As Chidi grew into a man, his reputation for honesty spread beyond the borders of Umuofia. People would travel for days just to seek his counsel, knowing that his words, though sometimes hard to hear, would always ring true. Merchants would ask him to oversee their transactions. Couples would come to him to mediate their disputes, and village elders would seek his advice on matters of governance. But with this fame came a heavy burden. Chidi found himself increasingly isolated. Few could withstand the unfiltered truth he offered, and fewer still chose to spend time with a man who could never engage in the small deceits that often smooth social interactions. On the eve of his 40th year, Chidi sat alone by the village stream, watching the moon's reflection ripple on the water's surface. He wondered, not for the first time, if his gift was truly a blessing or a curse. "Is there no one who can accept me, truth and all?" he whispered to the night air. Little did Chidi know that his words had been carried on the wind to the ears of Eze Okafor, the powerful king who ruled over Umuofia and the surrounding lands. Eze Okafor was a man known for his cunning and suspicion, always on the lookout for deceit among his subjects. When he heard about Chidi, he couldn't believe that such a person could exist. The next morning, as the sun peeked over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Eze Okafor's royal guards arrived at Chidi's humble abode. "The king demands your presence," they announced, their spears glinting in the early morning light. Chidi's heart raced, but he nodded calmly. "I will come," he said, his voice steady despite his inner turmoil. The journey to the royal palace was long and arduous. As they traveled, Chidi overheard the guards whispering among themselves. "I hear the king plans to test him," one said. "No man is completely honest," another replied. "The king will catch him in a lie, you'll see." Chidi remained silent, his resolve strengthening with each step. Finally, they arrived at the grand palace. Eze Okafor, dressed in his finest robes and seated on his golden throne, eyed Chidi with curiosity and skepticism. "So, you're the famous Chidi I've been hearing about," the king said, stroking his beard. "Tell me, is it true that you have never lied?" Chidi, who was nervous but determined to stay true to himself, replied, "Yes, Your Highness, I have never spoken a lie in my life." The king leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "And you claim you will never lie in your life?" "That's correct, Your Highness," Chidi answered firmly. "I will always speak the truth, no matter the consequences." Eze Okafor sat back, a sly smile playing on his lips. "Be careful, Chidi. Lies are tricky things. They can slip off your tongue before you even realize it." For the next few weeks, the king watched Chidi closely, trying to catch him in a lie. He would ask Chidi all sorts of questions, some simple and others complex, but Chidi always answered truthfully. This both impressed and frustrated Eze Okafor, who became increasingly determined to prove that no man could be completely honest. As the days passed, Chidi found himself longing for home. The palace, with its opulent decorations and constant intrigue, felt suffocating. But he knew he couldn't leave until the king dismissed him. One hot afternoon, as the sun beat down mercilessly on the palace grounds, Eze Okafor came up with a plan. He summoned Chidi to the courtyard, where a large crowd had gathered to watch the king's latest attempt to trick the honest man. "Chidi," the king announced loudly, making sure everyone could hear, "I have an important task for you." Chidi stepped forward, wiping sweat from his brow. "Yes, Your Highness?" Ezi Okafor mounted his horse, a magnificent white stallion, and placed one foot in the stirrup. "I want you to go to my summer palace and tell Queen Adana that I will join her for lunch tomorrow. Tell her to prepare a grand feast with all my favorite dishes. You will have lunch with us as well." Whatever happened next? There was no turning back now. Eager to find out what happened next in this story? Comment continue below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated with our latest releases. We truly appreciate your love and support so far. Let's keep the fire burning.